Hi, this is Miss Tracy, and I'm so glad you tuned in. Today we're going to do a question and answer session. I've been wanting to do one of these, but just life and family stuff going on. My husband and I have been very busy. We're trying to get that next CD out. Hopefully it'll be due out this fall. So we're doing a lot of creating. I'm also writing a children's book. So stay tuned for more information on that. So I'm putting the final touches on that. And question number 1. How do you select your books when preparing for story time? That's a good question. Normally, what I do get a lot of ideas from other people, stuff that they've read. But when I'm looking for a good book to use in story time, I like books, of course, that have excellent illustrations. Story times that I do are for mainly 3 to 5-year-olds, so it's a preschool story time. So I look for a lot of repetition. It has to flow right, like of course the Very Hungry Caterpillar is just a staple. I mean, everyone should be using that in any story time program. I like, of course, repetition, anything that can get the kids involved in the story. So when they're repeating the story back to them, or it allows them to respond in certain areas of the story, that's the type of books that I choose. Now, some books, depending on how the kids are during story time, sometimes I can have lots of kids, so I don't want the stories to be too long, but at the same time I want it to have some type of storyline that will appeal to the whole crowd. So sometimes I get older brothers and sisters, sometimes I get younger ones like 2-year-olds. So you just kind of got to be flexible. So I'll pick out about 4 or 5 books, but I only use maybe 3 books, possibly 2, along with a flannel board story. So I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, someone asked, what transitional songs do I use in my story times? Usually I try to go in the same order. So if I'm starting a story time off with a song, it's going to be the same song at the beginning. Like the one I like to use is The More We Get Together. And everybody knows that song, the kids know that song. So I'll start off with 2 songs, and that way the kids will know that it's time for story time. So I use the same songs every single week, so the kids know when I say, the more we get together, they know that it's time for story time. And then I'll read a book. Somewhere down the line, after maybe a felt board activity, I'll do a middle song. And my middle song is the Rum Sum Sum song. And we do have a video. If you haven't seen my video, go ahead and check that out. We do the Rum Sum song in the middle of our story time, all the time. So if I don't go in that order, the kids will tell me, Miss Tracy, you forgot to do the Rum Sum Sum song. So, and then at the end, we do the same song. We end on a happy note. We sing If You're Happy and You Know It. And all the kids know the song, and they know that that's going to end story time. And then I give them some special stickers for being good listeners. And so those are the 3, actually maybe 4 songs that I sing all the time in my story times. Even though I change out the books, I might add maybe 1 new song, but I make sure that those 3 or 4 songs I'll use all the time, so that it helps me transition easier. And I go in the same order. Same song at the beginning, the same song in the middle, and the same song at the end. So that helps out a lot. Okay, here's a question. Let's see. Where were you born? And do you have any siblings? I was born in London, England, actually. No accent. And do you have any siblings? Yes, I do. I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, and I am the middle child. So I've got 2 older than me and 2 younger than me. Oh, by the way, my sister, who's younger than me, is my best friend. So I just wanted to let you know that we've been like this forever. Okay, someone asked, where did you attend school? I graduated from Brentwood High School, and I attended, actually Brentwood High School is in Long Island, New York. I attended college. When I went to college, I went to Rutgers University, and I majored in journalism because I love to write. And I got my master's degree is in library science, and that degree is from Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York. Wow, it's been a while, so. But I continue to learn and educate myself, although I am not in a formal classroom right now. So we always strive to learn new things. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, this person asks, have you always worked as a librarian? And for the most part, I have to say yes. This is actually my 26th year as a librarian. When I first started working in libraries, I was working for New York Public Library, and I started out as an information assistant, and there wasn't a children's librarian. I guess the children's librarian left, and somehow I started doing displays, and they were like, Tracey, would you like to do a story time for the kids? And I was like, yeah. And so they couldn't get anyone to fill the position of the librarian, so I was working in the librarian capacity without the degree yet, and I absolutely loved it. I saw someone who read stories to kids, and I was just so in love with the fact that she can hold a child's attention for so long, and the kids were just so in tune with the story, and I was like, man, I would love to do that one day. So New York Public Library sent me to school to become a librarian, and I've been doing it ever since and loving it. So this is my 26th year as a librarian, but I absolutely love working with children. Okay, this question asks, who edits your videos and what kind of video editing program do you use? And of course, I had to get this from my husband because I can't, the technical stuff I just can't keep up with. So for video editing, we use Final Cut Pro 10, and we also use After Effects. And for music, my husband uses Logic Pro 9 and Reason. So if you know what that is, good for you, because I have no idea. I just know that he makes the music, and I love the work that he does. So special thank you to my husband. Okay, someone actually gave me a wonderful compliment, and I really appreciate it. They said, I like your voice. And the question is, did you take voice lessons to learn how to sing? No, I did not take voice lessons. But my husband does coach me through some of those songs where you hear me singing in different octaves. And then he'll just kind of pull out certain things and we'll kind of rework it. So I would say that my husband is my voice coach. So hopefully everything comes out good. Okay, the next question is, does your husband sing? Yes, he does sing. And when I tell you sing, I'm not saying that because he's my husband. I mean, he truly is blessed with an absolutely wonderful voice. I mean, it's just, I don't even know how to describe it, okay? But there is one video where he's singing We Wish You a Merry Christmas. So check out that video. I mean, it doesn't really show, I mean, he's singing okay in that video, but he can really sing. So he's really I consider him to be the musical genius behind Littlestorybug, but I mean, he sings all the time. So maybe he'll do a Littlestorybug song one day, and we'll see. But he likes to work behind the scenes and create the music. But yes, he can sing. What kind of camera do you use for recording? We use a Panasonic HDC 90. I had to write this down. But that's what we use, and it works for us right now. And hopefully at some point we can get an even better camera and put out even more quality video. So we want to get better at doing this thing. And but we love the camera that we have now, and it's very small and easy to carry around. Okay, this question asks, what do you like doing in your spare time? What spare time? Let's see, spare time. I like to sing, I like to write songs. There's always something going on in here, you know, even though I may be, it's just like you're thinking about something all the time, like what song you want to create. Sometimes I'll sing songs into my phone in my spare time. Sometimes I'll be writing down lyrics to songs in my spare time. I do like spending time with family. My sister is my next door neighbor. That helps out a lot. And of course, you know, we've got my daughters, and you know, I've got one daughter who's 20 and the other one who is 15. So we are busy all the time. My husband and I do have another channel. It's actually called Gift Basket Appeal. We started out as a gift basket instruction video, but it seems to be kind of going into more of a crafty thing, even though there are most of the videos are on how to make different types of gift baskets depending on themes, time of year, birthdays, Mother's Day. But check it out if you get a chance. Last question. I am new to presenting story time. What advice can you give for someone like me who is just starting out? Well, if you're doing story time, pick some of the songs that you like. Because if you like those songs, then more than likely, the children don't like those same songs. So, think of your favorite kid song. Like, I love the song If You're Happy and You Know It. So that's why I sing it all the time. And the kids love it too. If you're just starting out, start with maybe 2 songs, one at the beginning, one at the end, and then build on some of the songs that work well for you. Also with the books, if you're choosing books, see what other people are doing, see what advice they can give you. I do have some stories that I've read on our Littlestorybug channel. Those are some of my favorites. When I first started out, I did make a list of all the songs and books that worked for me. And then start adding some of the other things into your story time if you want to. A lot of people don't use felt board, but I like using felt board activities in my story times. You'll find out what you really enjoy doing. One of the biggest things that I usually tell people is that you got to bring the energy. So the kids feed off of your energy. So if you're energetic and you're entertaining and you're ready to go, the kids are going to feed off that and you'll get the same thing back. So it's all about positive vibes as well. Start with a lot of books. Do your research. There's a lot of books, lists, blogs, especially now, where you can just log on and see what other people book lists. Read aloud, favorite read aloud stories, favorite children's songs, and you'll be okay. You just start. You don't have to do everything, and be flexible during your story time. Everything is not going to go with the exact same way that you pictured it in your head. You know, and you may have to deviate a little bit. You may have to do a shorter book rather than a book that's longer. But just know your audience. If you're doing preschool story time, you gear it toward preschoolers. If you're doing toddler story time, then you gear it toward toddlers. Less words in the book, more actions. But you just have to do your research. That's my thing. And get advice from other people. Don't be afraid to ask other people what they use. That way you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Well, I hope I answered most of your questions. But just keep sending the questions in, and I will be sure to get back to you. Keep on tuning in. See you real soon. Bye.